Hello, ShoppersNet viewers. In this video, we will be talking about your electrical bill and how you should always take a look at the bill carefully to see if there are any errors. When we look at a typical bill, it looks something like this. It has a breakdown about how much energy you use on any typical day. And it tells you the kilowatt hours on the y-axis and the date on the x-axis. So how could you go wrong? Well, let's actually talk a little bit about how electrical usage is measured. In the past, electrical meters were analog, and the wheel that's in the center of this picture will spin at a speed depending on how much electricity is being used. If more electricity was used, it will spin faster, and if there's less electricity being used, it will spin slower. A person from a utility company would come by and read each value from the meter and record that so that you can be billed for the amount of electricity usage that you used. This was considered accurate because the wheel only spins when you consume electricity, and if you consume less, it will spin slower, and if you consume more, it will spin faster. If we look at today's gas meters, they follow a very similar principle. They have an analog gauge that records how much cubic feet of gas is actually used, but instead of having a person come read the meter, they send the signal to the utility company through their smart meter. Similarly, the natural gas meter will track the amount of cubic feet of gas you used. And of course, if you don't use any more natural gas, the meter reading will stay the same, unless, of course, you have a leak. Now, if we look at today's electrical meters, they're called smart meters because they've replaced the old analog meters that required a utility person to come read off the value every month. Think about it this way. The utility company saves money because they don't need to send a person to read the meter, and at the same time, it's all digital. What can go wrong, right? We believe that digital meters have been calibrated to accurately reflect the amount of electrical usage that is consumed by a consumer. So we're not claiming that the values are not accurate. So what happens when there is a power outage, you would say? Well, the customer didn't get any electricity, so probably shouldn't be billed for any electricity usage during that time. So that the fact that the electrical meter isn't able to send data probably isn't a problem, since there was no electrical usage anyway. You would expect that everything is fine. You didn't use any electricity during the power outage, no matter how long it was, and you're not billed for any electrical usage during that period of time, right? This would be definitely true if we were using an analog electrical meter because the wheel would not spin when there's no electricity being used. That is the expectation a customer would have. But is that truly the case? When we look at the bill, let's actually take a look. When we look at the actual bill, we see that at the bottom it says electrical usage this period, and it tells you the day-by-day usage of electricity. And it's 30 days. All the bars in the histogram are black. It looks pretty clear cut. That's your usage. And if you look at further up on the page, it shows the amount of usage that you're allowed for tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 2 usage is usage they believe you exceeded, and so they charge you at a higher rate. In this case, it is 39.468 cents per kilowatt hour. So any overage is actually charged at the higher rate. When we want more information about our energy usage, we click the link from our utility provider to see our energy usage details. This is easily seen on a web browser, and it loads the current billing period. Now take a look at this month where when it loads the data, all the bars are blue because we did not have any power outages and the data is nice and clean. But if we go back a month where we did have power outages, it shows there's actually one more item on the bar, and it shows there are blue bars and these shaded blue bars. And the shaded blue bars, well, actually they're estimated. So we'll have to go drill down and see what's in the estimated bars and compare to the hours where we had a power outage. We are aware of a power outage on September 3, September 5, and September 6, and it shows here that those bars are estimated. So let's drill down and see how, say, September 5 looks like. On September 5, there was a power outage from 2:46 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. of the following day. Now, it is odd that the electrical provider PG&E believes that there was a huge spike in energy usage between the hours of 3 to 4 p.m. when there was no electricity, and it subsequently billed for electrical usage for hours that there was no electricity, and they flagged it as estimated energy usage. Similarly, on September 6th, there was another power outage, and the utility provider billed for electrical usage that is estimated during the hours of 1:36 p.m. to 7:56 p.m., which you can see here is also estimated data. We track power outages by usually calling PG&E within 1 to 2 hours of the power outage, especially if the power is not restored immediately. And we have call logs from the cell phone provider. In addition, we use a Raspberry Pi and don't have it connected to UPS backup. So when the power goes out, it crashes, and when the power is restored, it boots back up. Now let's talk about the impact to a customer's bill when this overcharging event occurs. To simplify the math, if we assume 10 kilowatt hours were overcharged, then at 39 cents per kilowatt hour, that's almost $4. That's not a lot of money. But we feel correctness is important because how would you feel if the gasoline station charged you for 1 additional gallon of gas when you didn't actually get that fuel? Or if you went to a supermarket and they charged you for extra bottle of vinegar when you actually didn't receive it, right? So correctness is important. In addition, if we extrapolate this small overcharge, say of $4 multiplied by a few 100,000 customers, that's not a small amount of overcharge. We believe the utility provider should have a higher bar for trust and ensure that data is always accurate. So the next time you get your electrical bill and you know there was a power outage, it makes good sense to read your bill carefully to make sure you are not charged for electricity that you did not receive. In this case, we reported the issue to our utility provider, PG&E, in the hopes that they will correct their billing infrastructure and ensure that bills are done correctly for the amount of electrical usage from each customer. And of course, we hope that our bill gets corrected too. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If so, please tap the thumbs up. We'll be having more great videos to come. Please subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.